Welcome back, everyone, for more Toriko Unveiled. We've been cooking up a feast here lately, and as always, I appreciate your feedback because as the winner of another recent poll, we dive back into Toriko, not only to explain the importance of a good meal, but also to determine who anime's greatest chef is. Now, in anime, food makes you think there are real-life counterparts based on them and not vice versa. From delicious pastries to massive sizzling hunks of meat, refreshing buffets, or intricate and well-prepared meals, food within anime have an often oddly satisfying watch factor to it. And of course, in anime, we have a unique genre, cooking anime. Of course, we have numerous top shelves. Soma from Food Wars with his orgasmic recipes, Sanji from One Piece, though his combat role's been a little more prominent, Brock from Pokemon, Kiryu from the Zero Squad in Bleach, or Tonio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and one of my recent favorites you should check out, Senshi from Dungeon Meshi. Now, each of these chefs in their own right pursue and break the norms of cooking, often taking support roles or simply expressing themselves through the art of cooking. But the title of anime's greatest chef, I believe, should be handed to not just chefs like Sanji, who often bring great benefit to their allies outside of cooking. In Toriko, cooking and chefs have a much different relationship with the world. In Toriko, nations literally war for the rights to chefs, some saying in the Gourmet age that chefs were the most valuable resource over weapons, minerals, and even the food itself. The Toriko anime constantly features fantastically ingredients in food, many appropriately themed after some food-based pun. In this world, food is quite literally a cornerstone of human civilization, much more so than simply eating or survival. The food in this anime not only look to die for, but give you dumb hacks like oxygen-based healing factors, superhuman strength, increased muscle mass, and etc. This possible because of a batch of particular cells that were introduced called Gourmet cells. These cells exponentially increase the taste of something, even giving it properties that shouldn't be possible. These nigh alien-like cells massively accelerated the expansion of life on their Earth, making it 70% larger than our own, and as you imagine, the global flora and fauna populations exploded. In Toriko, there are creatures perfectly designed to be eaten, as if an evolutionary arm race of life instead of solely for survival opted in a who's the tastiest clause. And in this menagerie of ingredients, there exists the chefs of Toriko, people trained and educated in the biodiversity of the planet, and today we'll be talking about the greatest of them and greatest chef in anime, Chef Komatsu. But before you let me cook, how about we bake that like button to a nice and crispy level and take a second to grab yourself a snack or something to drink, cause this is gonna be a long one. 25-year-old Chef Komatsu, known to some as Matsu, is the meek and sheepish partner to our protagonist Toriko. Throughout nearly all of Toriko's adventures and battles, Komatsu was there to aid for Toriko and cook for him possibly the most beneficial meals he'd had in the series. Komatsu's role in Toriko is often challenged not by the narrative, but by the fans. Many fans, if you want to be honest, think Komatsu is the equivalent of a little girl in a man's body. Komatsu often is almost comically dying of stress in the duo's adventures, from pissing his pants to foaming at the mouth or letting torrents of tears, snot, and drool run down his face. It's understandable why some fans might dislike Komatsu. One moment, Toriko's unleashing primal might, and then we have 30-second cuts of Komatsu crying in terror. And to be honest, I don't particularly like the hate we get for Komatsu, because let's all be real, if you were faced with something like the Troll Kong that could flip a military-grade tank like a rock, you'd suddenly pee your pants and cry no different than him. And hate aside, I'd like to remind everyone that Komatsu has not only inadvertently saved the world by cooking for Toriko, but also directly with his own skills and merit. At the start of the series, Komatsu, while a 5-star chef, was unrecognized, but through his own experience and growth, rises to be a world-class chef with a 6-star restaurant and additionally rose to number 88 on the top 100 world rankings. He has also experienced much more than any other chef I've named to boot, exception of maybe the Zero Squad member from Bleach, but Komatsu has lived through and seen things that, for lack of better words, would drive everyone else on this list batshit insane. Komatsu has even been recognized by nearly every legendary chef and skill artisan in the Toriko series, and it's been stated in series that his genius far surpasses that of the Heavenly Kings and other chefs. And here's where we get into the real meat of the video, Komatsu's feats. Not only does Matsu regularly produce food delicious enough to satisfy all of the Heavenly Kings and make them want him as a partner, he actually approached Toriko first without orders and of his own desire. this desire to see the natural ingredients in their habitat so he could become a better chef in the process. Komatsu's first real feat is his preparation of the puffer whale. At the time in the manga, it stated only 10 chefs in the world could remove its poisonous sac. Even Coco, with eyes that can detect wavelengths and read probabilities, couldn't successfully extract it, though he was tired from fighting the giant devil snake. And Komatsu still managed to perform the extraction in only a couple of tries. And this wouldn't be the last special preparation ingredient Komatsu made look easy. He recreated the century soup from a single sip. This was an ancient ingredient made of the natural ecosystem of the ice-held continent. Countless years of different creatures, plants, and the environment itself all being blended into a naturally occurring sort of soup stock. Not only did the final drop of said soup fall into Komatsu's hands, he was additionally fated to meet his pet wall penguin Yoon, whose jewel was actually the final ingredient Komatsu needed to perfect the soup. And this wasn't as simple as it sounds, as we know even Granny Setsu could only create an imitation with her hundreds of years of life and experience. Komatsu, in only 6 months of experimentation, recreated a dish that took hundreds, even thousands of years to naturally occur. He figured out the taste of the soup could be reproduced with various ingredients boiled down and strained through multiple processes, with an end result of a perfectly blended, clear soup, so clear that people can't even see it. And this dish was so remarkable in several ways. First, Komatsu is the only reason a modern-day century soup existed. Second, this landed on Toriko's full course, also being the second time Komatsu created a dish that made a world-class hunter and savant like Toriko wanted on his lifetime greatest menu. This soup was described as a collision of ancient flavors that awaken primitive taste senses you didn't even know you had, and everyone that eats the soup can't help producing the stupidest grin I've ever seen. Komatsu's food is even so good that with low-class ingredients, he was able to prepare a feast for the boss of the Gourmet Corps, Medora. This feast made the man with literal insatiable hunger smile and laugh, something even the original century soup couldn't do. And Komatsu manages to do much similar, this once again during the cooking festival arc, where with inferior ingredients, he produces results that got him into the top 4 of the festival. And keep in mind here, him beating out other world-class chefs who have abilities and enhancements that should make them far more capable. And towards the end of the festival, after Toriko loses to Starjoy, Komatsu shows he can even use what are called the dark cooking techniques. In this case, literally saving Toriko and somehow repairing his dismembered limbs. During the 4 Beast arc, Komatsu literally saves the world by improving the medicinal mochi recipe. The world needed this as an antidote to the 4 Beast poison, the Green Rain, or a Malady Rain, which kills the infected within 1 hour. As stated on the Toriko wiki, the medicinal mochi is a very difficult ingredient to pair, requiring steaming, pounding, and absolute perfection and timed correctly without even 1 millimeter of imperfection. Each grain of the color rice is irregular and uneven, and even the smallest changes in temperature and moisture can alter its color. Even with the creator of the recipe and some of the top chefs in the world, they couldn't produce enough mochi in time to save the hundreds of millions of people poisoned by the Green Rain. Komatsu puts the team on his back and develops not only a revolutionary way to mass produce the antidote, but does so with only 10 minutes of guesswork. Komatsu faced a mass extinction level event, and the negativity of the world's top chefs literally did the impossible and completely changed the method on how to cook a special preparation ingredient. And of course, this would not be the last time he revolutionized the dish. In the Gourmet Pyramid, it was Komatsu who discovered the ancient cookbook, which showed him how to prepare countless special preparation ingredients, even the Salamander Sphinx, leading to an epic battle between Zebra, Toriko, and the Salamander Sphinx, with Komatsu using Zebra and Toriko as literal cooking utensils. This is why all the 4 kings want to steal Komatsu as a partner, and why he was captured by the Gourmet Corps. If it's generally food related, Komatsu has a sort of blessing, so to speak. Knowing food, honor, and immersion arts as well, with these spiritual pursuits, one takes a monk-like approach of caution and care towards food. This appreciation and understanding of food allows the practitioner to eat fragile and special dishes with ease. Komatsu, along with Toriko, mastered these arts in days, faster than any other initiate so far, and though I have to mention in the world of Toriko, food honor is taught as early as an elementary school. But this again strengthening my point that Toriko is much more inclined with the pursuit of eating and cooking and respect of food than any other anime. This leads me to my main reason why Komatsu is anime's greatest chef. Komatsu possesses a keen intuition for food that is almost like he can talk to ingredients. which he can. Enter Komatsu and the Toriko world in general's greatest hacks, food luck. Now I've explained food luck in its own video, so if you get a little lost, check that out, but in a nutshell, food luck has a sort of cosmic intuition or blessing of the gods scenario going on. It is quite literally one of the greatest X factors in fiction in my opinion, and food luck can give you great general fortune in life, such as how Komatsu somehow survives all of these dangerous adventures, his general fortune with applying his heart to cooking, or even when he literally won the Gourmet lottery. Komatsu's food luck is so great that even the other 4 kings and countless legends gaze at him like a god in shock when he manages to pull off these impossible things. Or more so, food luck seems to be a general ass pull that can save lives and give the most important gift of all, and that is the blessing of food and food spirits. Several times we see Komatsu be shown the easiest path to his goal. He brought out 120% of air's flavor, something even the Boo Nitro could not do. When the heroes journeyed into the spirit world and came face to face with the embodiment of appetite, the food spirits, Komatsu stood in front of potentially an infinite number of them who all wanted their unresolved gourmet desires satisfied, and he boldly declared he would prepare all of their dishes. Again, I'm not done. Komatsu additionally, even after having his heart crushed, was still able to guide Toriko via the spirit world so both of them could simultaneously capture Pear, and as you've seen, Komatsu is easily capable of cooking and acquiring the literal god class ingredients of the world. And the most significant of these would have to be Komatsu's preparation of another. As I stated in the Well King Moon video, another is one of the phantom ingredients on Akasha's full course. It takes a staggering 600,000 years to prepare. Even with Komatsu's clutch factor, guidance from a gourmet spirit, and the world's greatest chefs, Komatsu was only capable of shortening the preparation method down to 65 years. But let's examine that. Komatsu, with admitted help, managed to shorten the preparation period of another by over 92,000 times faster than expected. Granted, they were in a world where physically they did not aid, but during this, they all experienced the entirety of the time passed. Quite frankly, that feat alone should solidify Komatsu as anime's greatest chef, but if everything I've said so far does convince you, even chefs like Sanji and the Toriko One Piece crossovers admired and complimented Komatsu's genius. In the end series, he prepared God, the world's greatest ingredient, and in the closing of the anime, Komatsu prepared Toriko's entire full course for the celebration. And I could continue to go on and on and on and on. And he even has a light appetite having gourmet cell demon, which kind of already puts him in a different perspective as gourmet cell demons are living appetite. Of course he would know how to cook, but hopefully you get the gist. Komatsu has throughout his journeys become a chef of such high caliber that in the end of the manga, he and Toriko went to literal space to find more ingredients to satisfy their hunger. So, wrapping up folks, Komatsu is not anime's strongest chef, but in my true opinion, anime's greatest and most accomplished chef. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I read all comments and try to reply as often as possible, but without further ado, remember to stay sane and stay safe, and give thanks for the bounty of knowledge in the Toriko universe. Itadakimasu.